Welcome! Today we're diving into a really fundamental process in SAP quality management. We're going to look at how a company makes sure the parts it buys are top-notch, right from the moment they hit the loading dock.
So, let's kick things off with a challenge that every single manufacturer faces. You order thousands of parts, right? How do you make absolutely sure that one bad component doesn't mess up your entire production line?
To make this super clear, we're going to follow a simple scenario: a bike factory. They need really high-quality wheels from an outside supplier. We're going to trace the journey of these wheels and see how SAP S4HANA acts as a quality gatekeeper from the get-go. Now, here's the really cool part. This whole quality process isn't some extra step someone has to remember to do. It's an automated handshake that happens the very second those wheels land in the warehouse.
Okay, so it all starts with a totally normal purchase order. Procurement orders the wheels. But the magic really begins when the warehouse clerk scans the delivery. The system sees the wheels arrived, and bam! It instantly and automatically creates something called an inspection lot.
So, what is an inspection lot? Well, you can think of it as an official work order for the quality control team. It's the system raising its hand and saying, hey, these specific wheels from this specific order are here and they need to be inspected before anyone touches them.
And this part is absolutely critical. The moment that inspection lot gets created, the system digitally cordons off those wheels. It puts them into a special category called inspection stock. So while they're physically sitting in the warehouse, they are digitally locked. This makes it impossible for someone on the assembly line to accidentally grab a potentially faulty wheel.
Okay, so the system has done its job. The process is kicked off, the wheels are safely quarantined. Now it's time for a quality technician to step in and do the actual hands-on checks.
The technician basically has two main ways to go about this. The first is results recording. You can think of this like a super detailed checklist. They're measuring the wheel's trueness, checking spoke tension, recording specific values. The other way is defect recording. This is more about managing by exception. You just look for problems, a scratch, a dent, a wobble, and if you see one, you log it.
And you know what's really slick about this? It's not an either-or situation. The system is flexible. A technician can be going through that detailed checklist, recording all the measurements, and also log a scratch they happen to notice, all for the same inspection.
So, the technician has done all their work. They've gathered the data, whether it's a list of measurements or a list of defects. Now it's time for the quality engineer to look at that information and make the final judgment.
This is the moment of truth, and in SAP it has a name, the usage decision, or UD for short. All that detailed data from the inspection gets boiled down to one simple but powerful verdict. Are these wheels good to go or not? It's a straight-up pass or fail.
And that usage decision is like a switch on a railway track. A positive UD, a pass, and the system automatically moves the wheels from that locked inspection stock over to unrestricted use stock. They're now free to be used on the assembly line. But a negative UD, a fail, sends them down a different track, to blocked stock, where they stay quarantined, ready to be sent back to the supplier.
But here's the thing, this process isn't just a rigid set of rules that never changes. The system can actually learn from past results and get smarter, helping you optimize the whole workflow. For example, if you have a supplier who is just awesome, their stuff is always perfect, you might just set up an inspection skip and trust them completely. Even better is something called dynamic modification. This is where the system itself adapts. If it sees 10 perfect shipments in a row from a supplier, it might decide, hey, we don't need to check every single wheel anymore. Let's just check 1 in every 5. This saves a ton of time and money, all while still managing risk intelligently. So we've walked through all the steps. We've seen the inspection lots, the stock types, the usage decision, but let's zoom out. Why does all of this actually matter? What's the big picture here? It all comes down to this. The process acts as a quality gatekeeper, and that's a huge deal. Think about it. Catching a bad wheel when it arrives might cost a few bucks to ship back, but finding that same bad wheel after it's been built into a $500 bicycle, that could cost a fortune in rework, not to mention damage to your brand's reputation. This process stops problems at the earliest, cheapest point. And this quote you see here really nails it. That simple rule, locking the material while it's being inspected, is the foundation of the whole thing. It's a firewall that protects your factory floor from the outside world.
Of course, getting perfect wheels in the door is a huge win, but it's really just the first step, isn't it? The next big challenge is making sure that you build a perfect bike with those perfect wheels. But that's a story for another time.